On the initial setup of your machine, you'll find that at the top of the screen there's a place to input your information. In this instance, it says Your Farm Here. When you click on that, it pops up a prompt to input your own information. After you do that, it's time to input your seed data. All of this data is retained from box to box. This is only necessary for the first box of each lot number. Input your seed variety, followed by your lot number, followed by your seeds per pound. The seeds per pound, seeds per unit, and seeds per acre variables are only used when calculating treatment by things other than hundredweight. If you are treating all products by the hundredweight, these three fields are not used in the calculation of the pump's operation. Seeds per pound is used if we are treating by the unit, as well as the seeds per unit. The seeds per acre is only used when you've selected to treat a pump by the acre. The maximum rate on this machine is 500 pounds per minute. If for any reason, based upon your seed kind, bulk density, or whatever, the machine cannot achieve your desired rate in pounds per minute, then the pumps are automatically slowed down to match the achieved rate. In the top right corner of the screen, you'll see an information tab. That information tab includes a description of the pump diagram located in each quadrant to describe what the 4 quarters of the pie mean. First quarter, the top right quarter being named, bottom right being that the rate is set, bottom left is that the product is primed, and the top left being that the pump is in automatic and ready to go. In the center of the screen, you'll see my phone number, and to the right is a QR code taking you to our website. On the website, at the bottom of the screen, you can find links to all of our social media pages, including a YouTube channel where this video is found. When you click on the gear icon in the bottom right corner of the quadrant for each pump, it will initiate a prompt for each pump setup. At the top, you'll find a box where you can input the name of the product. Directly below that, you can select if you're treating by the hundredweight, by the unit, or by the acre. Do this first, and then input your desired treating rate. After inputting your treating rate, you can input your tank capacity and your remaining gallons. If your tank capacity matches the remaining gallons, simply hit Refill Container. As you see on the left side of each quadrant is a level indication. As you treat, the level will go down. This is an estimated remaining level. If there is an error in flow with any pump, the machine will shut down and inform you with an alarm. The screen is equipped with the ability to record up to 9 different recipes. You do not have to be using a recipe in order to treat product. But if you wish to treat everything the same or have different recipes for different fields, different customers, or things of that nature, you can easily change on the fly from box to box the desired settings. As you can see here on the right side of the screen shows the active settings. Once clicking on a recipe, as I do here, click Recipe 1, you can see the contents of Recipe 1, showing a different equity in the bottom right and Dynastart in the top right, with only 2 active pumps. Since I do not intend to use that recipe, I'm going to input my recipe name here as Spring 24. After naming my recipe, if I would like to override the current contents of the recipe, simply click on Save Recipe. As it says on the screen, select and hold to save. Select Recipe 1 and hold, and it will override the existing values. Now you can see when we go to the main screen, right above the date, it now says Spring 24 with Finisher. If I change the recipe in any fashion, as I do here, turn off Pump 3, it says Recipe Changed, and alerting the operator. If I simply go back to the recipe screen and load that recipe, it gets rid of the red box. As you can see, if I go back to the recipe screen and load a different recipe, it overrides the settings. This particular machine is fully equipped with 4 pumps. Depending on your recipe, you can run any pump with any method of treatment offered. Say you have a seed treatment and pump 1 and an inoculant in pump 4, and you're treating pump 1 by the hundredweight and pump 4 by the unit. Pump 2 can simply be turned off as well as pump 3, enabling you to switch on the fly. If the next box you'd like to run through utilizes a different treatment in pump 2 and the same inoculant in pump 4, simply change pump 1 off and pump 2 to auto, or go to your recipe screen and select the recipes with those active settings. Next, you find the report tab. On the report tab, it'll give you the ability to view previous batches as well as export data via the Copy Logs to USB button and Printer Enable. When the printer is hooked up, Printer Enable will turn green. Below that, you'll see copies. Each box that runs through will initiate the printing sequence. The copies field is simply how many labels you would like printed at the conclusion of each box. If this machine had been used yet, the next button at the bottom allows you to scroll through previous batches. To export the data, simply insert the USB into the control box and press the Copy Logs to USB button. On the setup screen, you'll find the runout timers and abilities to jog all motors, as well as adjust the scales. The pump runout time, roller runout time, and auger runout time happen in that sequence. The default settings for these are 5, 5, and 10 seconds. For each pump, you'll find the ability to prime, clean out, and test the air solenoid. Generally, 1 minute worth of runtime for the prime button will prime all the way from the keg to the nozzle. The clean out button works in the same fashion, and generally 1 minute of runtime will bring product all the way from the nozzle back to the keg, enabling a simple clean out. The screen only allows a button to be pressed for up to 30 seconds. Press and hold for 30 seconds and repeat. As you can see here, when pressing and holding the prime button and the flow meter sees flow, the 4th quarter of the pie is now complete. In the event we have a software update, all machines run the exact same hardware, and I will send you a USB. Simply put it into the USB port on the side of the control box and press the USB update install. In the scale setup, you can zero scale or tare scale, or simply input an empty container weight. The empty container weight is simply there for the convenience to see on the main screen approximately how much seed is left. If 0 is left in this field, you will just see the empty ProBox weight at the top right of the screen. Otherwise, if you put in an approximately 280 to 300 pound, the seed remaining quantity should be accurate. Now you'll see the box to box or bulk settings. When switching from box to box, you'll see on the main screen that instead of box to box, we have a box to bulk. In bulk mode, you'll see that there is a bulk high-level stop and a bulk low-level restart. Each 3 and 4 pump machine comes standard with the ability for bulk and can be added to a 1 or 2 pump machine. Each 3 and 4 pump machine comes standard with the ability for a bulk feed and outlet control. If for any reason you have an issue with your machine and do need to contact support, the I/O screen is simply there to help me in diagnostics. On the alarm screen, we can see history or current active alarms. Say for instance a pump runs out of chemical. On the main screen at the bottom, you will see the white box. The white box will show the most recent error. If a pump were to run empty, the error that will show there is process critical fault. When you go to the alarm screen, you will see process critical fault at the top, and generally the second alarm will be whichever pump has run empty, and will state, in this instance, pump 1 low flow. Once correcting the issue, simply press the reset button. Once pressing the reset button, you will be prompted to abort batch, complete batch, or resume batch. If you click complete batch, it is the same as finishing a run, and a ticket will print. A general successful box will result in a process completed by empty switch in the bottom white box. As you can see above the start button, shows what stage of the treating we're in. In this case, where we were simply hitting the start button with no seed above the rollers, it runs through an auger runout phase and completes the run.